guys. I'm like really sick right now, so if you hear it in my voice, excuse me. But I wanted to take a minute and talk about telling your mind, your carnal mind, to shut up so that you can hear the instruction from the Spirit. And I don't think that we really recognize that a lot of the chaos that go on in our head is from the things we allow people to say to us, the things we allow people to do to us. And so it creates a war because your feelings and your emotions and what you may think about yourself creates ambivalence. And so you negate the Spirit because you're caught up in this war in your head. And so instead of arguing with yourself in your head, just tell your mind to shut up. So that once you silence your mind, you can hear where the Spirit is trying to take you. Now, I know I've said something before about being obedient, and God just wants obedience from us. Now, in that, He does have general instructions, and it's not just the Ten Commandments and not just what you've been taught in church, but God has specific instructions for individuals. He has specific instructions for every individual. The core of obedience may not be the same for me as it is for you. Now, generally, He wants us to respect and value other people, and so those are the general laws. But in order to reach your purpose, He is going to have specific instructions for you, and you can't hear the instructions because you're warring with your mind. There's no way to be able to hear the instructions because that is the way the enemy keeps us stagnant. That is the way the enemy attempts, let me say this, because he has no control and he has no power. But that is his way of attempting to keep us at a stagnant place, because he knows that as long as we will be in our carnal mind and consumed with everything that is around us, we will never tap into where God is trying to lead us. Now, you may get different hints here and there, but until you actually shut this down and silence it, you will never really fully hear the instructions and the steps that need to be taken to get where you want to be. And you're always going to be at that stagnant place. You're always going to feel that way until you're able to find your individual way, because what works for me may not work for you. But until you're able to find your individual way of silencing what's going on up here, so that you can reach and so that you can get into a place where you fully understand that once I tell my mind to shut up and start listening to my spirit, I'm headed in a whole nother direction. You can see clearly, your path is clear, and you know where you are headed, you know the direction. Now, I think that once you start hearing the instruction, then you won't have a problem with the waiting. Let me say that again. When you can hear God's instructions, when you can hear where He's telling you to go and what He wants you to do, you don't have a problem with the fact that you know that there are going to be times that you are going to have to wait. Because you recognize His voice. You recognize that it's no longer me warring with myself. It's no longer me thinking that I have control over these situations, because He done already implanted in us where we supposed to go. And that's why we have different desires. That's why some people want a shoe store, some people want this, some people want to be doctors, some people want to be lawyers. He implants in us who we are already. Now it's up to us to be obedient, and the only way to be obedient to him is to be able to listen to him. The only way to listen to him is to be able to hear him. And the only way to hear him is to silence this. Jesus. So, yeah, all I'm saying is silence your mind. Silence your mind so that you can get to a place where you hear God's instruction for you. So that you could take those steps and really not feel stagnant no longer in your life, but feel like you're walking in your purpose. That you're walking by your faith. Thank you, Jesus. I just want everybody to have a good night. That's all I really got to say. I love y'all.